Good afternoon, YouTube, YTPC. How you all doing? Beautiful day. It's going to be over 20 degrees Celsius here in Switzerland. Got a bit of Mozart on the radio and smoking my Andreas Witchy Moor or bog oak pipe. Beautiful, large, perfectly carved 9mm, and in it I'm smoking some Dunhill 3-year-old matured Virginia, which based on this code on the back, that code there's a way that you can find out when and where it was produced, and I'll leave a link in the bucket that you see how to do that. Was in Smoking Pipes, and this tobacco was produced on the 8th of December 2015. So it was 3 years old already then, plus 6 makes it 9 years matured in the tin. Well, it's a pure Virginia, and it's actually perfect out of the tin from the humidity. It's nice. It's a nice sort of regular Virginia. You don't notice the enormity of the maturation, but it's a very pleasant one, quite smooth and slightly sweet. Toking Tommy did a good review on this. There were several others who also did one. It does have a moderate topping, or a fairly light topping of citrus and fruit, which you just pick up in the background, but the tobacco is forward, so if you're a purist and just want to taste mostly as much as possible tobacco, it's a good one. It's a bit like Royal Yacht, but milder and less strong. Royal Yacht has more like a plum topping, but it's sort of got a similarity there. Anyway, this video was a VR to Burn-A-Briar. BurnABriar, I love his channel. He's a young guy, student. I think he's studying law in England, and most charming videos. And I didn't realise he'd nominated me, as he did a VR to Flat Cap and Lady Fire, Flat Cap Piper and Lady Fire on their channel. So they're doing a magnificent GAW. Do participate if you haven't, because the prize is like a kilogram of the most wonderful tobaccos and other things. And all you have to do is answer 5 questions, but they're not so easy. At least I thought they were not so easy. So to start that, question number 5 is, why did you choose your channel name that you have? So mine is Redcoat's Return, and it's a bit complicated because I've always from time to time had dreams about the past, and that I was somehow a redcoat soldier. I have less of these dreams now I'm older, but when I was younger I used to have fairly vivid dreams, and I actually researched the family history when I retired. I had some time and went into it very deeply with a genealogist and a few trips to various archives in London and other places in the UK, and found out quite an interesting history of our family, which did have a military branch. Now as you go 200 years and further back, you're less certain of which branch, or if these were the parents of your great-great-great-great-grandfather, or and so on. But you come up with probabilities and likelihoods, and I'm pretty sure we had a military branch who was basically in the army all during that period. They were in India, they were in colonial wars, and they were in the Napoleonic Wars, Waterloo. So the right names turn up at the right dates. Unless you're a member of the aristocracy, it's impossible really to have enough documentation to be really sure. But you can, if you like, with a moderate degree of certainty, trace your ancestry back. So that's at least most of the reason that I chose Redcoat's Return. You know, he's back, it's me. And question 2 was, where are you from and where do you live now? Well, I'm originally from the United Kingdom, from England, from a region called East Anglia, and from a town called Sudbury in Suffolk. It's not a very famous town, Sudbury. 300 years ago, Thomas Gainsborough was born there, and since then nothing has happened. It's kind of like that place. It's a little market town. It has grown a lot with light industry since I lived there, but it's still not a very well-known town on the Essex-Suffolk border. And where I am now is Switzerland. How did I end up here? I left United Kingdom at 27, looking, well, in the old days you say go west, young man. In those days it was go east to Germany or France or Switzerland, and started my career over here, and I just loved the look of the country and the scenery, and the fact that it was in the middle of Europe if you wanted to visit the border countries of Italy, Austria, Germany and France. And I never looked back. I always stayed here, not with the same company all of the time, but in the same country. There was a little period when I stopped in the United States for part of my work in the 90s for 5 years, but as we have family ties here on my wife's side, we returned to Switzerland. And I'm just about half an hour drive south of Basel, the town of Basel. So that was question number 2. How long have you smoked the pipe? About 3 years. Maybe 10 years ago somebody gave me a pipe and I did try it. It wasn't a filter pipe, and I thought I see the attraction of it. It's very nice and relaxing. They gave me an English blend which was fairly oriental forward at the tobacconist as a freebie, and I thought, you know. And I stuck with cigars in between. Not very often, maybe 1 cigar a month. Mostly Dominican mild cigars like Davidoff's. But then when I retired, I thought I'm going to have another go at this. And I bought a pipe which was a non-filter pipe, and again they gave me a sort of not really a tobacco that I particularly liked, but I then started to explore YouTube, and I saw this is a whole universe different, and I have to research this a bit and learn, and then start accumulating knowledge, always with referencing what I was doing from videos made by all of you. Mutton Chop Piper and Stuff and Things, and all of the great presenters of 3 or 4 years ago, Matches and so forth. And I got onto a much greater progress and very quickly got several more pipes and started to fall totally in love with aromatics, which brought me back to those lovely memories of aromatic honey aroma pipe smoke from my childhood. So next question is, what am I looking forward to as the next part of my pipe smoking journey? I think that's looking at English blends in all their diversity. So that can be American blends, that can be just those with Latakia, but all variations of them, crossovers, Balkans and Orientals. So an aromatic pipe smoker takes a brave step out of his comfort zone and explores that universe of those kind of non-flavoured tobaccos, and maybe some that are slightly cased or flavoured. So that's what I'm looking forward to. It's going to be great fun this year. I've already got 3 or 4 picked out, and this is a step, although this is not English blend, this is pure Virginia with a topping on it, but you know, I'll sort of put my foot in the water just to test it. Can I live without a heavy flavouring? So the last question was, what videos do you watch if you're not watching ones in YouTube about pipe smoking? A very rich question which deserves a rich answer. So it's a lot. I watch, as one used to maybe 20-30 years ago watch TV a lot, I watch a lot of YouTube and hardly any TV anymore. I watch a lot of science fiction, and I watch reruns of things like Star Trek, you know, Next Generation, original series, and so on. And I listen to a lot of audio books from old science fiction literature going back to the 30s. There's some very good, LibriVox for example does fantastic readings of these fantastic novels from all that time back, some of which I was aware of but a lot not. So it's been very enriching. I use it as a technical reference, of course, so for things I want to look on to understand better documentaries, a lot to do with history and military history, a lot to do with astronomy, what they're finding out now with Mars, with the probes, and things that they've discovered with the radio telescopes or Hubble, and all the new satellites that have been put up there. So that fills my time very much. I am interested in pistols and the mechanics of pistols. I have a modest collection, maybe about 20 pistols, and I go shooting at the range. At least I will do it when this COVID story is finished, again when I can. And I used to watch an awful lot of videos about pistols, especially before I was deciding to buy this one or that one. Much less in recent times because I can't go to the range and my collection is full enough. But I still occasionally look at those videos, and I stay subscribed. I must have several thousand, probably 4,000 or 5,000 subscribe that I'm subscribed to for these various subjects. So those are probably the main things, but I've got another 100 other topics that I'm always looking at on YouTube about, for example, cities and histories of cities, all kinds of things. Sometimes I even look at videos about mathematics to refresh my mind and see if I can still remember some of what I learned, or chemistry, which was my main subject of study, just out of interest, you know. So those are my answers, really. Not sure how this works, but that's my VR to Burn-A-Briar. And if my name were drawn out, I would like the prize to go to BurnABriar and not me, because as much as I do admire and salivate over those fantastic tobaccos and everything you had there, I've got almost not space anymore. I've got such a collection of pipes and tobacco now. It's partly also because I just don't have space. I have to concentrate on using them and smoking the tobacco. And he's a young man, a student. I'm sure he could be very grateful for if he were a prize winner. You know, I'll keep my fingers crossed for him. I will come back to this tobacco when I use my Dunhill pipe with it in my GAW video and talk about it a little bit more, but I just wanted to have a first try of it in this video, and I must say it's a good smoke. If you like Virginia. Right, my dears, well, want to keep it short today. I hope you're getting some of this weather, or will soon, and getting out into the greenery and the garden, admiring the odd bumblebee or butterfly that flies by, and the bird song in the morning. It's a beautiful time of year. Well, take care, my dears. Look after yourself, and here's to a few days. I'll talk to you again. Cheers. Bye-bye.